Greetings, my friends, my YouTube family. I hope all is well in your world as it is in mine. Listen, I want to make a follow-up to the particular video that I did titled Rwanda, the real, how was it titled? The Real Rwanda, okay? In that particular video, I clearly stated right after I started that this is not meant to be demeaning. This is not meant to be negative. This is not meant to be condescending. None of those types of things. It's just an observation. And I said to people, listen, don't come after me in the comments section with all kind of crazy comments, because that's not what this video is about. Is being negative. It's just an observation. And so we have to talk about, be able to be mature enough to talk about the totality of what Rwanda is. Now, we always hear about where she's come from the time of genocide. Rightfully so. That's a part of the history that has to be talked about. And we tend to measure Rwanda by where she's at now compared to where she was then. Rightfully so. She has come a long, long way. It is truly miraculous. It's mind-blowing to see where she is today compared to what she was right after genocide. So I acknowledge that. I applaud that. It's a powerful, powerful reality of what can be done and what was done, right? But that's not the end of the story. In fact, I would say the story is just beginning. Okay? It doesn't end there. Rwanda is still looking to progress, to move forward, to do better, to do better, to do better than what she's done in the last, 28 years or whatever it is, right? So she's looking to do better. I'm sure the people in parliament are not sitting around saying, hey, man, we did a great job. We done came a long way. We good. No, they're looking to do better. And so when someone like myself comes in from outside of the country and makes an assessment, makes an observation, why is it always met with criticism? You know, it's like, as a person from the diaspora, it's okay for me to come in and invest my money in particular sectors of the country, but I can't say anything. I can't make a comment on what I see that could be improved upon. Or I can make a comment, but just don't do it publicly. You know, I understand that the Rwandan people are very, very proud to be Rwandan. They're proud of their particular country. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then there are some even that are outside of Rwanda will also come out against you if you say anything that appears to be anti-Rwandan. And that's not what this is about. It's not about being anti-Rwandan. It's about observing as much as you can about Rwanda. The good, the bad, and the not so pretty. Can we talk about that as well? We don't want to just harp on that, but that's a part of the reality. So I'm standing in Gisozi and I show the conditions of the neighborhood in Gisozi. And one of the things that I pointed out was that, you know, when you go downtown Kigali, it's beautiful. Kigali Heights and all those areas, the high rises, the 5-star hotels, and all of that is beautiful. I love it. But that is a small portion of the country. As I stated in the video, the majority of the country is living like where I was standing at. That's not criticism. That's the reality. The majority of the country is living off of 100 to 150 Rwandan francs per month. That's the reality. Nothing critical about that. So if I make that type of assessment, there's nothing negative about that. That's what it is. I showed that particular video because I was living in that community myself, where there's no hot water running in the house, where I'm seeing little girls, as well as myself, fetching water to bathe with, fetching water in the jerry cans to cook with, fetching water to wash clothes with. So I live like the locals. So what I'm talking about is not through the eyes of one brother said, "Oh, you're looking at everything through the lens of an American." No, I was living as a Rwandan. So let's just be mature enough to have conversation that is meaningful about where Rhonda is and where she's looking to go. So let's look at everything. Let's look at the areas where she needs to improve. That's all. Let's improve on what's already working well. Improve on that still. Make it even better. And let's improve on some of the things that's not working well. It's okay to point that out. So I mentioned education. Education, in my personal opinion, based on personal opinion, not just based on personal opinion, I'm sorry, but I sit on the board of one of the schools there that's a private school. I know the conditions. I know what the money that's paid out on a monthly basis to go to this particular private school. I know the conditions. The conditions are not that good. Yet this is a private school that people are paying for. Now, I talk to many Rwandans who put their children in public school that if they could put them in a better school, they would. The public school sucks. Now, let's take a look at some of the private schools. I know some individuals in Rwanda who's lived abroad, lived in the U.S., did very well for themselves, and they come back to Rwanda and they put their children not in the public school, but in private schools. And some of these parents are paying $15,000 a year to educate their children in private school in Rwanda. And guess what? That curriculum is not Rwandan curriculum. It's U.S. based. It's English based. It's so the parents themselves putting their kids that can afford to put their kids in the private schools. These private schools many of them are Catholic owned. The curriculum is not Rwandan. The curriculum is not African. Why do they do that? Because the general public education in Rwanda sucks. That's all I pointed out in a particular video. It sucks. It needs to be improved. Period. End of story. In my humble opinion, as I stated in the video, I don't think the government is doing enough to prioritize education. And this is based on 3 years of being in this country, in and out of this country, talking to many, many young folk, going to many schools, and hearing people talk about education there. They say it sucks. Many of the Rwandan people say it sucks. So I'm just simply echoing what I'm being told. Not only what I'm being told, but what I've also seen with my own eyes and talking to headmasters and having a relationship with headmasters. The education in Rwanda across the board needs a lot of improvement. It just does. Okay, so now let's talk about things from a infrastructure standpoint. I want to address this to the particular brother who said, hey, you're looking at things from the lens of America. Of course I am. I'm American. I have a reference point. So when you come from a country that's highly developed and you go to a country that's not highly developed, you can clearly see what needs to be developed. Excuse me. It's just an observation. When you don't have, so if you're a Rwandan and you've never been outside of Rwanda, you've never been to the US, you've never been to Canada, you've never been to the UK, you've never even been to Istanbul, Turkey, you've never been to countries that are highly developed, you don't even have a reference point. All you know is Rwanda, which I love. I have adopted Rwanda as my second home. I'm engaged to a Rwandese. God willing, we will get married this year. And when the time period comes, I will be a Rwandan citizen myself. I have consciously chosen to make Rwanda my home. So as a person who, don't I need to do my homework? Don't I need to understand who Rwanda is? The good, bad, and the ugly? All of it? To be able to make this type of decision? If I'm consulting with people to say, hey man, this is a great place to invest in agriculture, don't I need to be doing some homework about what agriculture is in Rwanda? And to make a proper assessment to be able to say, hey, this is a good place to invest, not only in agriculture, but in real estate. Don't I need to do my homework? To be able to confidently say to someone else, hey man, invest in Rwanda. Or do I just come in blindly and just look at the good stuff? No, man, you gotta look at everything. Everything. Rwanda is a beautiful country. It's on a beautiful trajectory. It has done some amazing things in a short period of time that many people can look at and model. As I see people saying that you model Rwanda. There's a lot of things about Rwanda that can be modeled. But there are also some countries that are doing some things better than Rwanda. There's some countries whose infrastructure is better than Rwanda's. Rwanda ranks fifth out of the African countries. Rwanda is like number 15 in education. So there's 14 countries ahead of Rwanda in education that don't need to model Rwanda as far as education goes. So let's just keep it real and understand that, as I said in the video, this is not about knocking Rwanda. It's just a simple observation in terms of what can be done better, what needs to be done better. Education is one of those things. The youth in Rwanda, they have very little to do. There's very little outlets for them to be imaginative, expressive. There's very little to do. So as a parent, if you got a 7, 8-year-old, where do you take your child to play? Where can they play outside? Can they go to the park and get on swings and slides and those types of things? I haven't seen them. I go to Sunday Park, which is a beautiful park, but it's not child friendly. There's nothing to do but to walk around there and see some sights. There's a lot of room there to have activities for children. Swings, slides, all the little things, areas for them to ride bikes. It's big enough for a nice swimming pool even. So I'm just simply saying, because I have a different lens to look at things through, I can see some of the things that what Rwanda would benefit by doing. Excuse me, that Sorry about that particular call. So, you know, I just wanted to come on here and kind of set the record straight, if you will, or give a clarify, if you will, my particular view on that particular video. I also showed in that particular video one of the in the second portion of that. Excuse me. Everybody wants to call me right now. The second part of that, one of the health clinics that some people in Rwanda call a hospital. When I showed that particular clip, it was just to show this is the reality of the people in this particular village. When they get sick, this is where they go. Not knocking it, not coming down on it, not being negative, but just showing the reality of this is where they go. Now, that particular video, that particular clinic, the standards are very low. Outside, inside, the tools that they need to do what they do from a medicinal standpoint, from being a doctor, very, very limited. But that's the reality in that particular village. They make it work. But I'm sure the doctors themselves will tell you, we wish we had some advancement in this particular area. So again, just being real, just showing you the reality of people that are living in those particular areas. That's their reality. Okay, that's their reality. And the way I see it, there's nothing wrong with showing that. This is how you're living. This is how you're living. Right? So for people who coming in from outside of the country and you want to go to the areas where you can spend $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month for rent, Rwanda has all that for you as well. You want to spend $3,000 a month for some rent, Rwanda has that for you. But that's a small percentage of people who are able to live like that. The majority of people are living just like I showed you. Just like I showed you. That's the majority. Then there's a smaller section of people above them that are living well. Beautiful furnished apartments, hot running water, stove inside. They don't have to cook on outside and burn charcoal. They have cars. Doing well. Have maids. They're doing well. But I know enough people in Rwanda that are struggling mightily just to eat every day. Some of them haven't eaten in a day or two. And then when they do get something to eat, it's just some porridge. Many of you who just heard me say that, you know that to be the reality. So how, as an American, I come to your country and you ask me for a job? Because the conditions there are such that the unemployment rate is extremely high. Extremely high. Jobs are hard to come by. So if I point that out, I'm wrong? You want to come down on me because I say jobs are hard to come by in Rwanda? So me, I like to keep it real. I like to keep it real because I am real. It's the only way I know how to roll. So anyway, I know there will be a backlash on this particular video as well. It's okay. That's life. I take the good the bad and the ugly. I'm big enough to take it all. My feelings will not be hurt. Just be yourself in your comments and otherwise. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's my position, and I'm sticking to it. It's okay. Guess what? I still love you. And I'm out. Till the next time. Peace, love, and so